Hey y'all, this is gonna be the little mini lesson for April 14th, which is day 5 in your second packet. All right, I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend and are ready for another exciting week of virtual school. I know I am. So let's just jump right into this video. I'm going to try to make it a little shorter than most. So we will see. All right. So let me blow this up. All right. So I think there's 3 pages for today. Let me zoom in a little bit. Writing inequalities. Miss Coggins is so very kind that she already did number 1 to kind of jog your memory. So let's go over how she got that answer. Number 1 says the sign at Six Flags says you must be 48 inches tall to ride the Texas Giant. Oh, there's such a funny story about that. I'll tell you when we get done with this. So, if you'll remember, back when we did these in centers, this was my center, and I told you to pick a variable and then write the number that was in the problem. Okay, so x and 48. And you can pick any variable you want. Doesn't have to be x. That's just the one we use the most often. All right. And so then you ask yourself, okay, if you must be 48 inches to ride this ride, I think that's supposed to say you must be at least 48 inches to ride this ride, because I mean, let's face it, that's 4 feet tall. You can be taller than that, ride that ride. You must be at least 48 inches to ride this ride. Okay, so we're going to pick a number below 48. 40. Can you be 40 inches and ride this ride? You have to be at least 48. Can you be 40? No. Okay, so let's pick a number above 48. Let's go 50. All right, if you have to be at least 48 inches, can you be 50 inches to ride the ride? Well, yeah, you can. That works. You can be that tall. And then lastly, so that tells us x has to be greater than 48. And then lastly, we ask ourselves, can you be exactly 48 inches tall and ride this ride? And that is a yes. At least includes 48. So that's why we have our greater than or equal to. Okay? Let's do number 2 real quick. Number 2 too. So we had Tom rode his scooter more than 2 miles. So I'm going to pick a variable, x and 2. Okay. If he rode his scooter more than 2 miles, can he ride his scooter 1 mile? No. Okay. Can he ride his scooter 4 miles? Well, yeah. So is 4 greater than or equal to 2? Greater than or less than 2, I guess, wasn't it? It's greater than. Okay, so now I have to say, can he ride his bike exactly 2 miles? No, because it said more than. So our inequality is x is greater than 2. All right, so funny story. When, excuse me, I lived in Arkansas for 4 years, from the time I was 6 years old until I was 10 years old. And we lived right on the Arkansas, Texas, Louisiana line, in a little place called Hope, Arkansas. And we went to Arlington, Texas for the weekend. We went and saw the Rangers, I guess it was, play baseball. We went to ride this ride. And I was, y'all know, y'all heard me talk about my brother before, but he's older than I am, 2 years older than I am. And y'all, he was terrified to ride this ride. It has a pretty big drop off, a pretty high hill, and you go down. But he was terrified, and we talked him into riding anyway. I mean, I may have called him some names or something like that. But anyway, he stopped breathing on the ride, and like when we got done, like my mom was like, thought she was gonna have to get somebody to come over there and give him like CPR or something, because he was not breathing at all. Funny story. That's Texas Giant. We have a picture of it too, of us on it, and Brandon looks like he's a ghost. He's white as can be. Anyway, funny story. Didn't cost you anything extra. All right. Page 20. Variables in word problems. Okay. It says read each word problem and write an expression using any variable as the unknown. An expression. Remember, expressions do not have equal signs. Okay. All right. We may have a coefficient. We know we're going to have a variable. And we also may have a constant. Okay. So number 1, Nolan has a large stack of baseball cards. He wants to split them into 10 equal piles. How many piles will be, I think that's supposed to say how many cards will be in each pile. All right, so how many cards will be in each pile? All right, do we know how much he's starting with? No. So we're going to use a variable for that. I'm going to use C. And if he's splitting them up, what operation is that? It's division. So C divided by how many? 10. Okay. So you can write it like that. Or remember, fractions also represent division. Okay. So either one of those. So you might see, I'm going to look through real quick. I don't think that you're going to have a constant in any of these. Well, you're going to have, number 3 might be a little tricky. All right. But you're going to have a variable, and then it could be any operation, addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. Okay. So there's that one. And last page, writing equations from word problems. This is where we do have an equal sign. All right. So let's look at number 1. Jenna is able to walk 1 mile in 12 minutes. If she goes on a 48-minute walk, how many miles will she be able to walk? Okay. So we know 1 mile in 12 minutes. Okay. Now I know y'all can use ratios to solve this. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. That was a little blurry. Okay. But we don't want to know that. Okay. So if it's 12 minutes for 1 mile, I'm going to let M equal miles. Okay. And I know 12 minutes times M times a mile, that's how many she can do. So that equals 48, right? Okay. So 12 minutes times the number of miles she walked equals 48. Okay. Now we know that does equal 4. But you could go on and solve it. Or remember, we could write it like this. 12M is equal to 48. Okay. We could also write a division equation. If you'll remember when we learned about these, we said there's multiple ways that you could write them. Okay. So just whatever makes sense. Yet again, if you'll just want to do 4 problems on each page, that will make Ms. Wyckoff and I happy. That'll satisfy the requirements that we have for you. Okay. So that is, that's it. That's it for day 3. Day 5. I'm not trying to back up and make us do more. That's it for day 3. If you have any questions, y'all know how to get us. A lot of you have my cell phone number or Ms. Wyckoff's cell phone number, email, Google Classroom, Remind. Any of those would work. All right. See y'all later.